Yo, Caesar here, and welcome back to what has been a long wait for a post-race commentary. Last time I did was in 2018, I believe. The game was F1 in 2018. I can confirm that, but yeah, it's good to be back. I thought that instead of doing live stream, I should get back on this. So here we are in Shanghai International Circuit. We are in Indian Racing League or IRL based out of India. So we're starting season 3, race 1. It's a mixed calendar. It's a short calendar of 10 races. So race 1 is at China. So strategy here is pretty straightforward. A medium to hards is what the quickest strategy is. But I went out of the pits on the soft compounds just to have a test of how the setup feels. I was pretty confident in China. As you can see, I go a bit wide there just to invalidate because the strategy has always been to go on the mediums. But my best lap around here during the practice sessions that I did was 28.9, which was, I believe, a pretty decent lap. And I was aiming somewhere around that, maybe a tenth or two slower, maybe even quicker. But if I can manage that, or maybe around close to that lap time at the start of the session, that would mean that the setup is working quite well. So over to just 12.5 minutes to go, and as we cross the finish line, we did a 129.5, which I think it's a decent lap. Track evolution is a thing in this game, so 6/10 off my personal best at the start of the session is not too shabby. It could have been quicker, but it is what it is. So here we are on our actual hot lap. We are out onto the mediums, and we are currently down in P19. That's because we haven't set a valid lap time. So the fastest lap of the session at this point is 29.1, if I'm not wrong, by Nova West, another racer who is pretty good at this track. So we are aiming at around a low 130s, maybe 130 dead or 130.2. So that was the margin that I gave myself. The delta will of course fall down because we did our invalidated lap time on the set of softs. So so far I was pretty happy, half a second down by the end of sector 2. So this lap looked pretty solid. 130, a low 130s looks very much possible as we take this long right hander. We go to the power too quickly and losing the back end, you can see, which is not good in this case. I was not happy at all going into this, and you can see the delta, how much we've lost just coming out of that corner. The car in front is my teammate who was planning to give me some tow, but that was a massive fail as I closed up on him right at the end of the back straight. So I was pretty pissed at this point, and I knew this lap was not going to be good. So as you can see, almost losing the back end on the final corner, and we did a 130.7, which is absolutely shambolic at this point. You can see P12 for me. I was the only one who set a lap time on the medium, so my teammate in P14, so imitating Ferraris in real life right there. So 129.1 by Nova stands the pole, which is a pretty good time, to be honest, but I knew that I had the pace overall, even the race pace, to do really well here. But at the point P12 or that time 130.7 on the mediums was not at all good, and I wasn't happy with that one bit. So pretty straightforward. One advantage or silver lining that I had was I was starting outside the top 10, so I had that option to start on the fresh set of mediums, and that's exactly what I did. Top 10, obviously they were all on the soft. So formation lap done. Shah in P13 is starting on the soft, so it was very important for me to get a really good launch, possibly jump PSR Legends in P11 and be right on the tail of top 10. So while we wait for everyone to form up after their formation lap, keeping the nose clean and getting a good launch was the priority at this point. So we wait for fire lights to go off, And here we go. We managed to get a pretty decent launch, engaging the ERS at the start just to get some added benefit of that pretty decent launch. And people are going wide, so this gives me an opportunity to go down the inside of all the drivers. I'm up into P9, had to go off the track for a little bit just to avoid the cars that would understeer through that corner. But I managed to stick it on the outside. The McLaren goes really wide. The other McLaren on the right goes off the circuit. So McLaren, I think, both started in the top 5, not having the best of the starts. They've lost out massively. As Shah, who started right behind your soft, sends it down the outside and holds his line, which he will have on the inside on the next turn. So I decided to back out of it and give him that turn. His tire advantage will be much more superior than what I will have, and it was important for me to not lose any more time battling with the soft runner. So I decided to just stick behind him and possibly use his tire advantage and DRS when the time comes. So going into this braking zone, as Shah misjudges the braking point, takes out the racing point of Sonic Hawk, I believe, and I had to control my car. It was quite reflex action move. I'm sorry, I cannot speak. But no damage done, and I'm up into P7. 5 positions gained in 2 sectors on lap 1. So I was pretty happy with that. And now I had some free air that would allow me to push even more and close on the gap on Redstone Derp in the Renault in front. So lap 1, Nova West holds on to his lead, and we come out of it without any damage. And my teammate, I think he lost a position, or maybe he stayed where he was, and I was checking up on him and he had no damage as well. So it looked pretty good for both the cars. We were both on the medium, so we had that option to go long and deep into this race as Renault loses the back end, and but with the superior grip that he had, he managed to get hold of it. So going into this braking zone, I wasn't expecting Redstone to give me space, but well done to him for allowing me to go through. He shouldn't have done that, but at this point, I would take any goodwill gesture shown by the drivers on the track. So Tanishq is in the front, 2.5 seconds, and it was all about pushing on from here as we get our first warning on lap 2, so which is not good. Getting penalty on this track is not too difficult. The final corner especially, you can really in an attempt to go quicker to that corner, you can either cut it or go too wide. So already I have 1 warning and a couple more, and 3 seconds will be added on. So we move 2 laps forward and we close right up to Tanishq and Kanav, who are battling for P3. I'm sorry, the screen is too small where I'm watching this. So this is a battle for podium. I have joined the party, but you can see how much the soft runners are struggling at the moment. The medium runners, or the drivers who are on the mediums, will come up on their own. And Tanishq, the DRS is obviously active at the moment. So Tanishq, I was hoping that Tanishq and Kanav will battle each other, which is exactly what they are doing. But Tanishq managed to make that move stick. I decided to, or not decided, think of going down the inside, but decided against it. So coming to the end of lap 4, both of the car in the front go into the pit. So that leaves me open to go on the charge to the top 2 runners. Nova West 7.3 seconds in the front. Ashwin Lakhwani, a season 1 winner of IRL, 5 seconds down the road. So it was very important for me to really stretch my muscles and close down the gap, because I knew the soft runners will be struggling on their tires, and my mediums felt pretty good at the moment. You can see I was running rich mixture. My ERS is quite high as well at this point, because I was trying to save as much ERS as possible for where I needed to push, and this was the opportunity where I don't remember, but I think I will use quite a bit of ERS just to close down the gap. But you can see how much time we've closed down within the 1.5 sectors to both of them. Almost a second is what we have closed down. So coming to the end of sector 2, we can actually see Ashwin's racing point going purple in sector 2. So our pace is really strong here. On the mediums, we are going purple, and you can 6 seconds. So we have closed down the gap to Nova by half a second in just a couple of corners. So it was very important for me to push as much as I can. You can see I'm using ERS. I've used so much ERS. It's down to below 50%. And yeah, clearly the soft runners are struggling here. So this could very well be our fastest lap of the race so far. And both of the soft runners have decided to stay out. So they are going long on this. So this is just working in my hands. We got purple lap. And as soon as I said it, there is a safety car. And this was unfortunately very ill-timed and was caused by my teammates. So Ferrari strategy working its charm even in the game. He got involved with Redstone, I believe, at the exit of the hairpin of the penultimate corner, and my teammate came out with his wing with the wing damage, but the Renault wasn't so lucky, and he unfortunately DNF'd. So I was pretty unhappy at this point, and I knew staying out right now would be suicidal for my chance of a podium. So I had to pit, go for plan B, and I was hoping that I would come out right behind Ashwin. So I was trying to push, but you can see Arjun Shah in the other Mercedes, another fairly quick driver, managed to jump me right at the exit of the pit. So I wasn't too happy, first of all, with the untimed safety car, and then Arjun managing to get a jump on me on the pit. So it was all about now staying with these guys and obviously not get any damage out of the safety car restart, which is quite usually the case. At the safety car restarts, the tires are cold, people are desperate to gain as many positions or stay as close as possible to the cars in front. So I knew Nova wouldn't go for it, at least until that hairpin. So I was managing the gap, trying to get as much heat as possible onto this hard compound. It's really difficult to maintain the optimum temperature in these hard tires. They go cold really quickly. So now I was all prepared to just go on the throttle as soon as possible. So my eyes were on the car, but I was managing throttle as well. So into the final corner, and I knew that this is the time where I need to go on and go for the kill. But Arjun in front on the medium, so I was really hoping for him to make some inroads over Ashwin. So I decided to stay behind him because I expected Arjun, who was on the mediums, to be quicker at this stage than Ashwin. So all I was doing here at the moment was just stay behind him, just watch those two guys battle, and I knew once Arjun made his move on Ashwin, he should be able to stay with Nova as well. But you can see visibly Nova has pulled up a gap already over Ashwin. So Ashwin looking not too comfortable, who has managed to get himself a 5-second penalty, which I believe was a bit unfair, and that is not the actual penalty or legitimate penalty that he held till the end of this race. So coming into this final sector, this is where the mediums should come on its own, and Arjun should be able to get away, but with no DRS at the safety car restart, I knew that this wasn't the lap Arjun was going to make any moves. But I was still hoping. I decided to stay behind these guys. You can see I was using no ERS at all, just to let these two old teammates, they were teammates in the previous season, so I was allowing them to fight each other out and hoping that Arjun will overtake him and close up the gap to Nova. You can see how much gap Nova has built up already. Fortunately, we didn't get any warning for that minor track extension. You can see how much they're already pulling away. So I'm not using any ERS at all. And I was pretty sure, by the way those two were pulling away, that they were using their ERS just to stay in front, and the other driver trying to stay as close as possible. So Arjun was trying here, to be fair, but with no DRS assistance, it was rather difficult at this point of this race. But the thing that was worrying me at the moment was Nova pulling up a gap. You can see how much he has pulled away. So we move on to lap 12. So there was no progress at all at this stage, and this was now working against me. I was hoping that Arjun will make the move, should have made his move by now, but Ashwin was doing really well to keep hold of that P2. So now I decided this was the time I used my ERS, and I had to do something about this. And The strategy only here at this point was to throw Arjun off his line and let him know that I'm there and I am here to make my move now. But that wouldn't be possible if Arjun kept getting this DRS of Ashwin. So I had to throw him off his line and uh, get him off that 1 second time window. So you can see how much close I am to Arjun, the closest I've ever been so far in this race. And you see, I'm trying to just show my nose on the inside. It wasn't my intention to make any move, but just to let him know that I am right behind him and I will go for the attack or the move. I am on the attack, but I will go for the move if the opportunity arises. So trying to stay close up to him, and yeah, moving on to the end of that lap 13, or the same lap that we were on. The gap is still pretty much the same, but Arjun, yeah, is struggling. I'm not sure why he was struggling to make his move over him. You can see how he loses the back end, and I knew that he was low on the ERS, so this was the opportunity that I saw. You can see the red flashlight is on behind his car, so I knew he was struggling on the ERS. We had plenty of ERS, or at least in his comparison, to punish. You can see we are holding it down the inside, so I was thinking of making a move, still holding on to the line on the outside, but with the better grip that Merc had with the medium tires, it was really difficult at this stage to go for any move, but I still stick it on the outside. So my plan here was to just get him off that 1 second window that he had over Ashwin, which I believe I have succeeded so far. So now my aim was to not allow him to crawl back into that 1 second range of that racing point in the front. So you can see the lines that Arjun is taking. So he knows that I will go for the move, or I am trying to go for the move, and he is in a bit to defend. He is going all over the place. So at the DRS detection zone, I'm sorry, I cannot speak. He is already 1 second off, but you can see I just managed to not get the best of the exit on that lap, and we lose a lot of time. So I will definitely not go for the move on this lap, but immediately on the next lap you can see how much we've closed up the gap, and now with the DRS active and the ERS at full blow, we go down the inside, and we had to brake late, go for the move on the inside, leave him enough space, and with the better traction he again manages to get me on the exit. So we stay back on him, trying to get a switch back line, and we knew that he was low on the ERS, so he will be out of it pretty soon. You can see the red light is flashing, and we take this as the opportunity to go on the outside, and the move is done. And I was pretty relieved that I was able to go on and step onto the podium position. So my next target was Ashwin. Nova, meanwhile, has gained he was 4.2 seconds in front, so he gained a lot of time with all three of us battling with each other. So it was all about now to just stay within the DRS zone of Ashwin's. I knew he was down on ERS because he was defending too hard from Arjun. So in comparison to him, we had a decent amount of ERS, so my only strategy here was to stay as close as possible for me to make my move on the back straight. So we are closing down the gap on him 7/10, and now it's under 7/10, so we are at a pace advantage at this moment. So we really need to break really late into this corner if we need to have any opportunity to go for the move on him, and we get a really good launch of this long right-hander, and we are going on to rich mix, and we will deploy our ERS, and with the DRS active I was just gonna go for it. There was no second thought about it, and because I was losing a lot of time to Nova, we spent a good chunk of laps first waiting behind Arjun or for him to make his move, and then took 2 or 3 laps just to make my move on Arjun. But at this point it was all about just pushing and pushing, and you can see we've already set the fastest lap of this race at this point, which was the fastest lap for me personally. I did not improve on that as the race progressed. So 11 more laps to go and 4.2 seconds. So you can see the gap is 4.2 seconds still, 4.3 as you cross the finish line. But in the bid to push too hard and overtake the two cars behind me, I did manage to burn up a bit more of a rubber than I needed to. So you can see the gap will pretty much stay the same uh, throughout the rest of the race. So 4 seconds, and that's where it stays. So I keep checking up on him, um, in case what lap times he was doing. So that is what I was checking, and yeah, it didn't really help much. And you can see as we move on to the final lap of this race, the gap has increased to 4.6. So by penultimate lap, I knew that there was no point pushing anymore or even trying to catch him. So I just held up, completely, not even slightly, but completely. And I knew that P2 is the best that we could manage. So overall, I think if we would have been more aggressive at the start and overtook Arjun and Ashwin a bit sooner, I think we could have pushed a bit harder. And obviously, the safety car did not help us one bit on the strategy that we were. But P2 in the first race, starting from P12, I think I should be pretty happy with that. And yeah, P2 is where we finished. Noah West, well done to him. He finished 4.5 seconds in front of the starting from pole. So I can't really complain. I mean, I did manage to keep my nose clean and yeah, take a step onto the podium. And yeah, this is a good chunk of points for Ferrari. My teammate finished P7, which is again really good. No penalties for either one of us. So we kept our noses clean, and we each gained considerable amount of positions. So next weekend we move to Bahrain, and hopefully things will only go up from here. So until next week, this has been Caesar, and yeah, see you next week, and goodbye.